os dispositivos.
Electronic devices are now part of our life, and we can no longer live without them, and we're becoming more and more demanding. What is the impact of this technological breakthrough in terms of telecommunication infrastructures, the importance of fiber, and how are companies dealing with environmental and social aspects? We'll be listening to Nuno Carvalhosa, CEO Selinex, Paulo Favora, and Pedro Rocha. I'd like to thank you for your presence. Nuno, what was 2022 for Cellnex business? I would like to thank the APDC's president and the Congress president. What was 2022 like? It was a year full of activity challenges where we're fully committed to support our clients, but many challenges. There was quite a convergence, many requests to introduce more equipment, more technology in our infrastructures. That is, it was one more year, and due to the great team we have in Portugal, we were able to contribute in a relevant way to help our several customers in their growth projects in introducing the 5G in a speedy way. Where was it more demanding? Was it in the implementation of 5G? Honestly, in the synchronization, aligning all these challenges, because we intervened in Portugal with Cellnex 6,000 infrastructures, different type infrastructures. In a very short period of time, we had to adapt, strengthen, and if not replace several infrastructures so that they'd be apt to secure for the population around that infrastructure, people intervening in these infrastructures. We've intervened in more than 3,000 of these infrastructures. The aligned efforts with different partners, the joy of living in this country. Many companies are representing not only operators but several companies from this broad ecosystem, like technology, telecommunications, are well organized, effective in what they do, but it was to synchronize all these aspects and to respond with volume in a short period of time. Maybe to speak about what we're talking about, what is the fast fiber business? What is it about? Thank you, APDC, for the invitation. It's an honor. The fiber business is what we make available to telecommunication operators. It's an optical fiber grid, all elements related to it, so that they can make available to their clients high-speed networks. And then telecommunications operators complement the service they make available. But in reality, our network is the highway where all communications will go through. Both the fiber network and also the mobile one are the basis of a society which is connected. Without those infrastructures, we would not have the services that this Congress presented today. No service like such. So the fiber network will allow everyone, all telecommunications operators, to provide these services, and all others that provide internet TV service and also OTT. Without this, it wouldn't have happened. Was 2022 very demanding? Yes, it was quite demanding. We have a network which is quite capillary, the largest fiber network, 7.5 million household, over 2 million fiber networks, it required increasing the fiber network. We seek to be the leader operator in fiber network in Portugal. We're already a leader, but we want to increase our dimension. We want to be a reference for all our telecommunications operators, and we've been working in this neutral offer, and we offer commercial conditions, quality service, allowing the operators to be competitive in the market they operate. And this is what we've been doing during 2022. José Ribeiro, how did 2022, what was 2022 like for your business? I'd like to thank APDC, and I'd like to thank the audience, and also Paulo. His wife, therefore, being pregnant, unfortunately, he couldn't come to Portugal. So he asked me if I could replace him. It would have been interesting to hear Paulo speak Portuguese. I already speak to him in Portuguese. Would have been great. Next time, surely he'll address us in Portuguese. 2022. Let's mention that we set up the company in 2021, 2022. It's a startup with many countries at the same time. We've been setting up the company, creating an integrated technology part, several competence centers. What we're trying to do is to bring know-how. We're an industrial player with our towers plans, structure engineering, bring it to the inside. EMF, create EMF, which is important. An innovation center to test technologies of the future. All that can be the path for the tower companies. We've consolidated our market. Everything that is within a telecommunication tower, from the tower to the tower to power, except for certain parts. We've been doing this at an international level. Personally, in concrete terms, an effort was made to increase our team in Portugal. The tower companies, when it was created on our side, it wasn't the core business. Its core business to this, it is. So we've been increasing our team so as to increase the skills. 3 projects which are critical. 5G, one of the most important projects for our clients. The sharing part between ourselves and Vodafone, and the consolidation of new businesses. And investing, and the investment, because we believe in models. Smart cities, one of the points. So several aspects which are fundamental. A third, which is the commercial part. We wanted to create it, to have our assets in the market, because since we earn money, this is what we've been focusing on the last 2 years, commercial focus, and to work with our clients. And there were probably many challenges. You've described 2022 as being full of projects, but there have been challenges. What challenges would you like to share with us in the last year? First of all, to find the right people. It's not only in Portugal. So we wanted to hire those people that added value, not just hiring people. The commercial part convinced our clients that we are a company of the future. Find new clients. This has been one of our strong points. But from the countries I'm working on, Portugal, because it's the one that really, Portugal is the country that doesn't worry me much. It's Nun Carvalhosa, those that don't understand telecommunication infrastructure know that fighters ensures greater speed, and the operator is aware of that importance. What is the fibers towers role in strengthening smart cities? Well, I'm going to answer. I will answer with the perspective of different fiber structures in smart countries, and why. I prefer answering this way. Since we started our activity, we've added more than 500 new infrastructures, 80% outside the main urban centers. So we've given a relevant role to social cohesion, territorial, economic of the country. We're speaking about 400 locations outside the main urban centers that before had no good mobile coverage, had and did not have any mobile coverage, and today they have a good mobile coverage. In many cases they can access 5G in shorter distances, bringing closer the world to these less central zones and more at a disadvantage. These infrastructures are also used, for instance, to support different types of equipment, not only towers, equipment supporting mobile communication services for the main operators, but IoT equipment as well. We implemented a network with 3,000 gateways IoT supporting different services, such as the mining of digital currency, loss of water in distribution, as part management with sensors on hunting estates. Has estates simple examples with non classical equipment supporting 2, 3, 4, 5 gigs, but in the city, yet outside they contribute to smarter countries. And so when we have cities which have well equipped, most of the market goes to reach those more remote areas. This has been shown. Yes, our contribution has been given to 450 locations, which now have a great mobile coverage with 5G access. There are still zones, not only in terms of fiber, but in mobile communications, which haven't yet been equipped with that coverage. But at this moment, includingly, there's a process which is ongoing, the opening of a call for tender for financing to equip infrastructures in those zones. An important aspect and the international ranking in terms of competency, digital efficiency, Portugal typically has performed quite well in terms of availability, new generation. Where we don't perform as well is in digital literacy, and there have been significant investment. 3 companies that have contributed in a relevant way. These 3 companies represent 3.5 million euros of investment, generating liquidity, and we're able to invest in different factors regarding their customers, making feasible. They're not sufficient conditions, but necessary ones that Portugal can close the gap in terms of adjusting the digital literacy skills. What's the fiber's importance for intelligent cities? It's all picking up on what Noon has said. That is, fiber will make available the means that so that all these services and all these cities, smart cities, can manage what they seek to: the power grid, lights, waste, water treatment station, all will be there will be connectivity, either mobile or fixed. Now, but it only works if there's a fiber on the other side. So it's going to be extremely important. Picking up on what Nuno has said, in reality, the rest of the country, it's necessary that there be a fiber mobile network to provide coverage to the population. There won't be then smart cities, digital literacy if there is no fiber network. It won't exist. They won't exist. But Portugal is well positioned. We have a fiber network that covers 92%, over 92% of the national territory, comparing it to European benchmarking. Give us examples to better understand how Portugal is well positioned in terms of coverage. I have a coverage of 92%, over 92% in terms of fiber. Fast fiber has a coverage penetration rate which is higher than 85% in terms of the households that exist in Portugal. It's a significant penetration rate. European countries like Germany, France, Poland, and the US have fiber penetration rate and cover fiber much below our rate, around 20-40%, much below. So they have quite a lot to do. But we're not embracing the whole population. They are the so-called white zone where we still need to invest more, and there will be a tender that will be financed so that these areas can have fiber networks that can provide connectivity. Let me just mention something which is also important. This has to be said. It's not only to make available fiber networks for households. We need to make available fiber networks for companies and also for all operators that want to operate in Portugal. Nowadays, Portugal is seen as a gateway for connectivity of hyperscaler, large data, with the implementation of data center, underground cables. And this is the connecting point between Europe, America, Africa, and the Mediterranean. And these operators require fiber quality. Our fiber network is good, but we're prepared for that level of demand. It doesn't have to do with the fiber, but with the civil infrastructures where these fiber network, such as conduct, and there's quite a lot of fiber network based on air, and that has to migrate in to connect. Without this resilience, there will be no investment made in Portugal, because this is a given fact. We don't want Google or Amazon or Facebook to come to Portugal with significant data because there's a storm, for instance, the app stops. We don't want this to happen. And that is why, well, they don't want this to happen, nor do we. And the regulator, there's a decree law for such infrastructures that the sector knows. The regulator still plays an important role. And we've been confronted to several difficulties. In some places, there are no apt infrastructures connects to place the fiber network. Some exist, but they're not open. To leave the fiber operators, telecommunication operators, to provide this service, we want them to provide to these international operators, larger ones that want to come to Portugal. So this is an opportunity for Portugal. It's not only for the operators. Zeriba, do you feel this difficulty? Your perspective about the tower, the importance of building smart cities. To speak about fiber, so our business is towers. We think that that fiber, and our clients want fiber. So what we've been doing is to reach an agreement with all fiber suppliers, also ready to invest in last mile. And investing in fast fiber and so on is not what the business is focuses on. CDI is what we're investing in. In terms of smart cities, I agree. Fiber is increasingly important. We've invested in Cascais with the town hall of Cascais. With the fiber connected infrastructures, it's essential. It's we're testing it in several countries, testing different concepts, and the developments for the fiber network is the consumption entrepreneurial characteristic, which is important. Infrastructures are critical for all countries. For instance, we are assessing centers of competencies, and becomes more valuable. And Portugal is in a good position. There's an expanding coverage which is necessary for those zones outside the digital scope, but we think that Portugal is quite well positioned. As we've understood during these 2 days, everything happens at a very at a at a quick speed. Will the market be able have the capacity to accompany it? We've spoken about AI. Would it make sense to no longer speak about physical equipment when we speak about telecommunication ones? Again, I'm not the right person to answer that question. I'm not a technologist. What I know, read, in the short run, I don't think we can predict a reality where the population, in general, citizens, companies, several public, central, local entities can overcome their connectivity needs without there's where AI doesn't reach, it's going to progress, bring new opportunities, also bringing about new challenges in terms of privacy. But managing infrastructures, AI still plays a role in predictive models to help us to carry out a more effective, efficient management with fewer costs, where the main problems can be expected. For instance, an infrastructure business supporting mobile communication, we have different methodologies. We have levels of demand which are different in terms of maintenance in view of simple parameters. In terms of infrastructures in the sea, sensitive to saline rust incidents, or at a given altitude, we have more demanding procedures because they're subject to wind speed, which increases the likelihood of there being structural problems with these infrastructures. You, Pedro, you were shaking your head regarding that sector. Is AI difficult to end with some physical infrastructures? No, there will be no replacement. AI has also to be used by the infrastructure companies, as Nuno mentioned, so that we have a better operation, better management of these infrastructures. This is what we're working on. I suppose this is what we're working on, but in reality, there's going to have to be connectivity. Physical infrastructure needs to exist for that connectivity, and demand is greater. I was asking, can the market accompany it? Up to what extent the technological breakthrough is seen in the fiber field nowadays? Fiber is today it's a transmission mode. A top trends, it's future proof. The top, it's what we foresee to exist in the next years to come. But where innovation exists in reality is in the connectivity relating to that fiber network and what the uh, operators can provide. There's some fiber, and there is fiber, some fiber, and there's it's going to be improved. But the main evolution is in the connectivity services behind it, in the speed to transmit, to provide these services to reach the end user, the final client. The cut of fiber assets and telecommunication, cut of fiber assets and towers, separation, the merger, the separation. Then any of us, in reality, any of us are a result of a separation of operators that were vertically integrated. They had infrastructure services that decided to transfer these infrastructures and compose autonomous enterprises. At that time, owning that infrastructure was a very big competitive factor. Nowadays, it's not as such. Networks are more ubiquitous. Telecommunication operations have them spread out. It's no longer that competitive, and operators can monetize that asset, and with it to obtain partners in and investing in these services to customers. On the other hand, these infrastructure companies dedicated to infrastructures have significant advantages because we have a company which is extremely focused, specialized in asset management. And these three companies, as Jose mentioned, we work to be neutral and open to work with all operators. There will be an impact for other investors using that network, and then they can themselves do their investment. It's an impact for the operator, time to market. The operators have a network, an automatic network's open. They can navigate. Construction takes time and money. On the other hand, this has a big impact in terms of sustainability because we're not building overlap networks. We're building a network everyone can use, the Delta Next tower and others, and the fiber fast fiber, and it has an impact, a significant impact on sustainability, and even urban wise. Let's there's just one then. Speaking about this responsibility, and to conclude this round of question, this separation was beneficial. Yes, let me go back to in the infrastructures. AI is enhancing the fact that we need more infrastructures supporting communications. We're speaking about hundreds, thousands of for the railroad lines because there's a need for more connectivity to support all technologies that are used. As mentioned by Pietro Carvalhosa, the AR part applied to our business is booming. We're increasingly working on drones to capture images, to detect failures, and to see if there's such. So this whole market is really expanding. It has to do with our core business. And since it's our core business coming from this merger, from separation, sorry, all these assets can be used by any. There were always problems with competition. No, at this moment, all companies have been set up to obtain the greatest efficiency will help the ecosystem, or will release money to be invested somewhere else. This is relevant.
Acho que é uma coisa.
So this was beneficial for all players. Maybe we're at we're in an embryo stage in Europe. In the States, it's been done quite a lot.
Now, let's talk about business responsibilities. How has Cellnex approached these three pillars? We have been very committed and structured, and we have certain things that are as simple as a master plan that was approved at the level of the board for ESG from 2021 to 2025, with 21 different initiatives aligned with the UN Sustainable Development Goals, with human economic resources for their attainment. But this was also done so that this is not only a contribution or a marketing activity, it's done because we want to make the managers of the company accountable. There are several managers that have explicit ESG objectives linked to their short-term variable remuneration and also long-term variable remuneration, and that is decreasing the carbon footprint and the increase of the number of women in management positions. And for us, this is a big challenge because we have gender parity and we have around 40% of the extended management team with women. So this is how we approach ESG in the Cellnex group. And that's definitely the way forward. What about fast fiber? These three pillars, I believe, are very important. In our perspective, they are crucial. In reality, these three pillars are as crucial as the profitability of the company. And we believe sustainable companies are long-term companies. Otherwise, the long-term does not occur. So we monitor, and we have sustainability objectives that are monitored on a monthly basis.
Caso bocadinho ao contrário do Nuno, não são apenas alguns trabalhadores, todos os trabalhadores têm a sua remuneração variável associada.
All workers have their variable remuneration linked to ESG objectives, and they need to be met. At the end of the year, they need to be assessed. Have you had good results? Yes. We started in 2020, and we participate in an international benchmarking for infrastructure companies. Thus, we are considered first among telecom infrastructures. And this has been positive to recognize the effort we are making. And there are issues that are very important in our company, and we have a small number of collaborators, but we have partnerships with several employees, and we demand from our partners to meet our demands, and we're talking about thousands of workers in that case. What about your relationship with these partners so that they meet these goals? At first, it was a shock, but we've attained very good results with our partners. And most of the procedures that are implemented, they implement this and they report it to us, and we've had excellent results in what concerns health and safety at work. 0 accidents since 2021. It's fantastic. It would be interesting if most companies could talk about these three pillars as Pedro Rocha just did. What about vantage towers? How have you been addressing the environment, the social matters, and also governance? People and planet is something fundamental in our development. We always have this notion that this is something personal, but I entirely agree with the other panelists. We should leave something for our children as good as what we were given, eventually even better. We have a program, towers, and we provide coverage in areas where it would be difficult. We did this in Ireland, in a specific island. And the reception by the population is extraordinary, showing the impact of our infrastructure in the population. Everything around energy, we are energy certified. We have 100% green energy. We are investing in our sites so that our clients can have wind, solar energy. We are generating business solutions for sustainability. We're targeting our business so that sustainability is profitable. This is very relevant. It's one of our main pillars. It's part of our company objectives. And the three of them are at the same level, or do you give more importance to the environmental aspect and sustainability? Everything that is health and safety is the most important. Human lives are the most important. Everyone who works in our towers, they must be certified, and that there isn't subcontracting after subcontracting, and the person doing the work is not certified. All those that work with us, it's in an industry where parity is difficult. In some countries, we're more successful than in others. So in every ESG fields are under our radar. We're almost concluding our debates, and I would like to ask the three of you, in the case of Cellnex, what is more demanding in the coming years, and will there be a limit to investment? Well, what we can expect for the coming period at the group level, we have started a new strategy at the end of last year, and we decided to stand by acquisitions. And in the past 5 years, we were the biggest issuer of capital in Europe, if not in the world. We raised 35 billion euros, 20.3 in debt. Our growth was very, very fast. And the company that we did the first transaction with the Altice Group, it was the first independent company. Then it's purchased by Cellnex in 2020, and we are ranked the 8th country where Cellnex is present. At the end of the first half year, we were already present in 12 countries. The growth was very fast. The investment effort was very big, and also of integrating several operations, several companies in different countries, and this within a group concept. And we are pausing now on acquisitions. In Portugal, the big challenge we will continue to have in the coming 2-3 years will be this very strong support to our clients. The main operators in the country can have a response to their needs regarding their equipment in our infrastructures to provide the best possible service to their final customers. This is done with certain attributes that are quite specific to our company. We are a wholesaler. We do not discriminate, and we are independent. And this is very relevant for us. We're independent to the extent that our relationship with our customers are only to provide services. There's no economic group relation. An economic model like this one needs to maximize the use of our infrastructures so that we have success at the economic level. And we believe this is a competitive model, but it's also in favor of the environment. And Pedro was talking about this. Shared infrastructures means that for all levels, there's less infrastructure. And this means less resources being consumed, less steel being produced, less concrete being used, and also less displacements for maintenance purposes. In Portugal, in the coming 2-3 years, we will be focusing on providing the best response possible to continue to fast-track the introduction of 5G in the country by the main operators in the market. Pedro, you had already conveyed this idea, the importance of striking a balance between infrastructures and sustainability. This is one of the challenges, undoubtedly, but just like Nuno said, and this provides a service to the other operators, and without talking about the other objectives. On the short term, what we want is to develop partnerships with our customers so that they increasingly use us, and we are a benchmark in Portugal as far as fiber is concerned. Regarding 5G, of course, towers are needed, but fiber is also needed to provide access to the towers, and this is crucial. And today we are witnessing a major increase in this demand for fiber to provide the 5G service. And the market is supporting this demand. Well, you were asking if the investment was unlimited or not. It's not limited if there's a return. So far, there has been a return. Yes, so far, yes. But we need these conditions that I was talking about when I said we need infrastructure for fiber, and we need the necessary conditions for this investment. José, what is more demanding in the coming years? First, let's go back to something that is important. We had the pandemic, and we realized communications are crucial if we don't want people to all live in cities. And communication is crucial. And infrastructure operators enable this communication. So this is the first challenge faced by countries, to increase the coverage. There's another challenge, and that's the densification. We are building networks, buildings, and sometimes it's difficult. If you have a building as if it is a Faraday cage, you need to invest a lot in coverage. So there will be a race, not only in coverage, but also in the cities. And thirdly, in the past, towers were not shared, and now also fiber is shared. But there's more to be shared to increase the efficiency of the system, such as the sharing antennas. And we will see to which level of sharing will happen, what is at the level of infrastructures. There's a big challenge for the industry. So we're testing all the different possibilities. I cannot guess the future. Thank you all for your presence in this panel.
E agora segue-se a cerimónia de...
And now the new honorary member session takes place.